happened so far with regards to the removal or not of President Jacob Zuma. Still joining me in studio this afternoon, a political analyst, Mr. Jackie Shandu. Mr. Shandu, we heard from the chief whip of the ANC stating that the ANC MPs will never sell their soul to the opposition. Your reaction to those comments?
Sure.
Please be seated.
Mama, action.
Honorable members, before we proceed with today's business, I wish to make the following announcements. The vacancy which occurred in the National Assembly owing to the resignation of Mr. M.H. Redeleng Hayes has been filled by the nomination of Mr. D.R. Ryder with effect from the 1st of July 2017. The member has taken oath in the Deputy Speaker's office. I welcome you, Honorable Member. On behalf of presiding officers, I also wish to convey our heartfelt condolences to the family and friends of two African National Congress members of Parliament who passed away, Mr. Trevor Bonhomme and Mr. Timothy Koza. May we stand and observe a moment of silence in respect of the honorable members. Thank you. Honorable members, the House will schedule. Honorable members, order, order, order.
Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker.
Yes, honorable member.
Can you please call that person to order? We don't need him here.
Honorable member, please.
He's in the gallery. Where are the bouncers? Can you bounce on him, please?
Honorable members, please take your seat. Please take your seat. Take your seat. Honorable members, the House will schedule condolence motions in this regard in due course. We also wish other members of the Portfolio Committee on Basic Education who were injured in a car accident a speedy recovery. These are Honorable Gina, Honorable Ollis, and Honorable Macheke. The only item on the order paper is a motion in the name of the Honorable Leader of the Opposition. Honorable
Deputy Speaker.
My money?
Deputy Speaker,
yes.
Can we, because this motion of no confidence is going to be decided by secret ballot, we've got two people in the House here who are not allowed to vote because they're not members of Parliament. Can we propose that they excuse themselves for this process and then we participate as members of Parliament? That is Mr. Nteko and Mrs. Mukonyan. So they must excuse themselves because we are going to engage in affairs that involve members of Parliament. And the two of them are not members of Parliament. Can they excuse us so that we are able to deal with business of the day, remove a person in their absence? Please.
Honorable Member, thank you very much. Honorable Members, the business of the House will be conducted by the Chair appropriately, and at the appropriate times, if necessary, we will make the necessary procedures. Honorable Maimani.
Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Yes. Please take your seat, Honorable Member. Yes, Honorable Singh.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, yesterday we made a request that the Chief Whip's Forum meet, and we did meet earlier on today. And we agreed that the procedure for voting will be amended and distributed to all members. I'd like to know when that is going to be done because the debate's now starting. Thank you.
Honorable Member, the people who know that will give an indication to you soon. They will be able to do that soon. Yeah, it's okay. Okay. Go ahead, Honorable Mr. Maiman.
Deputy Speaker, honorable members, comrades, fighters, Democrats, fellow South Africans, Bagaetsu, Dumelang. Last week, we lost a colleague and a committed parliamentarian. Those who work closely with Honorable Timothy Khoza spoke of his big heart and his concern for others.
Honorable members,
he died while performing his duty, and that is how we will remember him, committed to the people, always trying to make a difference. Our thought and prayers are with him and his family and his party at such a difficult time. Honorable members, we may represent different parties in this House, but we are united in our love for our country and our loyalty to the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. We may have different opinions, but we are not enemies. All of us sitting in this place, black, white, Indian, and colored, want South Africa to work, to be a prosperous nation that we know it can be. I became a member of parliament because I wanted to serve the people of this country. I wanted to make a difference. And I know that most of you who are sitting here are here for the same reasons. You want to do what is right, what is just, and what is honorable. We've all traveled a different journey to get here. And growing up in Soweto in the 1980s, I witnessed, like many of you, the sharp end of apartheid brutality. And I swore I would do all that I could with what I have to fight oppression in this country. I never imagined that one day I would be here in this parliament fighting a new form of oppression, a corrupt system that keeps our people imprisoned in poverty. If you told me that one day our democratically elected president would end up corrupted and captured by a criminal syndicate, I would have never believed you. But here we are. We've all traveled along different roads, but we've arrived at the same destination. We all have a choice today to do what is right, what is just, and what is honorable. I know many of you are tired of talking about President Zuma. So am I. And I'm tired of speaking about the Guptas. That is why we tabled this motion, so that we can move on from this disastrous chapter and focus on the things that matter to our people. Honorable members, this is a historic day. Indeed, since the dawn of our democracy, the stakes have never been higher. Our state has been captured. And we know this from the hundreds and thousands of emails that have been leaked. We know that from the testimony of members and former members of this House. As a result, our economy is in recession and our country has been downgraded to junk status. While the corrupt quickly exchange their stolen rands into dollars, it is ordinary South Africans who are hit hard. Fellow South Africans, I have seen with my own eyes the effects of poverty in communities across South Africa. I've spoken to people who collect spoiled meat from rubbish dumps to feed their families. I've met mothers who feed their children on sugar water and boiled weeds. I've heard of parents abandoning their babies, and I've heard of the good people turning to crime out of sheer desperation. Bagaetso, matshelo a ma-Afrika Borwa a nna boima. Borotho bo tura gompieno go feta bone bo tura maabane. For malapa a mantsi, toro ya go nna le ntlo ya bone mo Afrika Borwa ga e sa tlhole le teng. Ba ba emetseng di-social grant ba sokola go tswelela pele. Di-grant tsa bone ga di kgone go ba tsweletsa pele. the value of pensions and savings is shrinking. Akusena mali ama textbook, akusena mali ama classroom, akusena mali ya scholar transport. And in fact, what is even more tragic is that more and more South Africans are running out of opportunity to find work. Fellow South Africans, honorable members, the choice that is before us is a simple one. Either we will allow one family, aided and abetted by our president, to take everything from us, or we, on behalf of the people of South Africa who elected us, take our country back. The choice before us today is not between yellow, red, or blue. It is not about party politics. It's not about who tabled this motion or who didn't. Today, our choice is between right and wrong, between good and evil. Today, we do what is best for our country, or we turn our back on it. When we vote today, let us recall the oath of office that each of us took when we stood here. That oath says, I swear that I will be faithful to the Republic of South Africa, and I will obey, respect, and uphold the Constitution and all other laws of the Republic. I solemnly promise to perform my functions as a member of the National Assembly to the best of our ability. All of us sitting in this place said those words right here in this house. But saying those words will mean nothing if today we don't put our words to action. Are we, honorable members, are we prepared to uphold the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa and all other laws as we saw that we would? Voting in secret today means none of us have an excuse. We are all free to follow our conscience. If we fail to use this opportunity, history and many South Africans will judge us harshly, and the people of this country may never forgive us. I hold the hope that there are enough people in this house today.
Sorry, honorable member, please take your seat. Honorable members, can I plead with you that we lower our voices so that the speaker can be heard? We would like every speaker who's going to speak here to be listened to. This is presumably a very important debate. Thank you very much. Go ahead, honorable member.
I would hope that there are enough people in this house that will put politics aside and do what is right for the people who elected us. We are encouraged by the words of former Minister Pravin Gordhan, when he says, I think the president should move aside and let someone take over this country and reset the course, so that we can fulfill the kind of aspirations that Mandela and his generation held for our country. Honorable Gordhan, will you play your part today in resetting the course of history? We're encouraged by the words of Honorable Hanekom, when he says most MPs are senior members of the ANC, committed to South Africa and our movement. They'll do what is best for our country. We take heart, Ntate Ramaphosa, from your words when you spoke about state capture.
Order, the speaker.
Yes, honorable member, please take your seat, honorable member. Order. Honorable members, please. Order. Yes, honorable member, what are you rising on?
No, honorable speaker, Honorable Maimane has failed to deal with Honorable Zille. So he can't tell us anything.
Oh, no, honorable member, that's not a point of order. Proceed, honorable member.
Deputy Speaker.
Honorable Steenhuisen. Honorable Steen, can we allow the speaker to proceed? Because if we do that, we will take on time that we should be deserving to. I understand your concern. Can we proceed without allowing
Deputy
the
Speaker,
debate? Yes.
I rise on Rule 66.
Yes.
Members not to be interrupted, and particularly by spurious points of order. Now, the honourable member there does this in every debate. And I would ask that you urge him to refrain in this important debate from making himself look foolish and this House look foolish with these spurious points of order that are not points of order in terms of our rules.
Proceed, honourable member.
Ndade Ramaphosa, you said, I will not keep quiet and remain numb to what this means for our country and its people. We will not protect those in our ranks who are involved in these actions. Ndade Ramaphosa, today, will you put your words to your actions? And then there was a frank admission by Honorable President Zuma when he recalled the events that led to Polokwane in 2007. In fact, he said, had we known that our revolution and our struggle were going to be handed over to an immigrant Indian family going by the name of Gupta, we would have behaved differently. We would have never thought that Zuma was the right person to lead the ANC and to lead the alliance or the country for that matter. Babu Nzimande, are you prepared today to correct your mistakes of 10 years ago in this house? We were moved by the brave words of Honorable Khoza when she told President Zuma, South Africa no longer leads you. Uphold the ANC's constitution, uphold the country's constitution, and step aside. Your vote in this motion, Mamu Khoza, is the honorable and the ultimate service to our people. Honorable members, these statements reflect what many, if not most of you feel. Aside from the instruction given to the ANC caucus to follow the party line, who within the ANC and its alliance really wants Jacob Zuma, Ubabu Zuma. Amongst ANC stalwarts, the calls for him to step down have become a deafening chorus, with former presidents speaking out aloud. Former President Motlanthe is on record stating that if he were an MP, he'd support the motion to remove President Zuma. Former President Thabo Mbeki shared this sentiment when he said, it is obvious and logical that MPs must act in Parliament as the voice of the people, not the voice of the political parties to which they belong. Honorable members, I know what Nelson Mandela would have done in this house today, and you know it too. He once said, may your choices reflect your hopes and not your fears. I am asking you today to overcome your fears, to show courage when the people of this country need you the most. I am asking you to vote today, to vote for hope. The hope that we can defeat the corruption that oppresses our people. The hope that a prosperous nation at peace with itself and with the world. The hope, fellow South Africans, that we can make South Africa a better place for our children. If we do the right thing today, we will give our children a better future that they deserve. Vote for your hopes, honorable members, not your fears. Do the right thing today. Vote with your conscience and remove this corrupt and broken president from office. I plead you, let us put the people of South Africa first and vote to remove Jacob Zuma today. I thank you.
Honorable, the Deputy Chief Whip of the Majority Party, Doris Dakude.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, His Excellency the Deputy President, Honorable Ministers and Deputy Ministers, Honorable Members, our guests in the gallery, I greet you all. Firstly, we extend our sincere and heartfelt condolences to the families of our comrades who were also members of this House, Honorable Bonomi from KZN, who passed on after a long battle with cancer, and also Honorable TZM Khoza from Mpumalanga, who died in a tragic car accident while on oversight visit to schools around Paarl. The ANC is much poorer without them. May their souls rest in peace. We also extend our best wishes to the committee members who were injured while on oversight. Honorable Gina, who is still in hospital, Honorable Cynthia Majeke, and Honorable Ian Ollis, who are recuperating at home, including the bus of the minibus, Mr. Mayor. Honorable Speaker, as we celebrate the Women's Month, the ANC commits to creating a safe and secure environment for women. The ANC welcomes the Speaker's decision to opt for a secret ballot. We have always indicated our openness, either a secret or open ballot. Honorable Deputy Speaker, moving forward as parties and a country, we should reflect on whether it is desirable for public representatives to conduct their votes in secret. The inherent danger of such a practice being potential to use money to influence politics and the electorate, not knowing what their representatives voted for. Honorable Speaker, our Constitution, rules of the National Assembly and the joint rules of Parliament, Chapter 9 institution and the judiciary ensure that the executive accounts. The President has at least 4 question and answer sessions in this House where members have a responsibility to scrutinize executive decisions. Honorable Deputy Speaker, siyakwati sonke ukuthi umongameli unelungelo ngokwemthetho sisekelo ukuthi akhethe emalunga wecabinet aphinze futhi awashintshe kulungelo lakhe lalinikethwe emthetho sisekelo enesimalunga weANC siyakwati ukuthi sikhundla kukhongolose akusibo bukhosi siyabolekwa inkosi iyatalwa kepha thina siyakhethwa ngiyabonga sihlalo. Honorable Speaker, the haste for political showboating and vilification of the person of the President, not robust questioning of the office that is displaced by walkouts each time the President honors his obligation, undermines our responsibility. We are aware of all issues raised in our society. We acknowledge our mistakes and are committed to correct them. We aspire to be and to do right. As our former President Utatu Nelson Mandela explained, and I quote, "I am not a saint unless you think of a saint as a sinner who keeps on trying," close quote. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the May 2017 NEC Lekgotla and NEC agreed on the establishment of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry to investigate all allegations of state capture that are out there. The President has also committed to the establishment of that commission, of Judicial Commission of Inquiry. Honorable Speaker, this debate is about our integrity as the governing party, public representative, and the nation, which occurs in an environment where a democratically elected majority with policies for a radical impetus to a constitutional liberal democracy is pitted against an insurrectionist opposition anchored on a racial privilege, protectionism, and narrow populist nationalism. Honorable Speaker, the motion is their publicly stated intention of regime change, a wish to manipulate the legislature, usurp our constitution so as to collapse government, deter service delivery, and sow a seeds of chaos in society to ultimately grab power. A hypocritical opposition devoid of integrity disciplines its public representatives for voting with conscience for a service delivery budget. Shame of you. It is the same hypocrisy that vote in defense of its Western Cape leader, yet expects the ANC to vote otherwise. We are not sellouts. We know who sent us here. We will vote the ANC. Honorable Speaker, siyakwati sonke ukuthi likhetho lethu la eNingizimu Afrika maphathi kuphela la contesta likhetho. Tinhlangano tete politiki leti wina lukhetho. Tinhlangano tete politiki leti thumela abantu eParliamente ukuthi batimele. Tinhlangano tete politiki leti niketa malunga awo eParliamente ligunya lokuthi tendeni. Sonke sihleti la sithunyelwe tinhlangano tethu. Sonke sihleti la sithatha mandate from our parties. Akekho namunye lagini la ngathi yena uvota nganembeza wakhe. Sikubonile lokho kwendekile eMkhale City. Sikubonile makhansela lamanye eEFF ayabitwa ukuthi ajeziswe. Makhansela weDA ngokuvota ngonembeza abitiwe aba subjected to a lie detector test. What a shame on you. Honorable Deputy Speaker, sometimes our hurt is immeasurable, the anguish of our people insufferable, the propensity of our collective resilience beyond sustainability when tested. At times, the noise is too hard. It defends even the lucidity of reason, at which point we seek the easiest and quickest of exist, oblivious to our incalculable cost to ourselves as a people and party now into the future. It is yet at this very moment that our individual and collective integrity must propel us to rise above political expediency and personal distaste. Assume higher goals for our forebears and lodestars set for
Honorable
us as a
Deputy
people.
Chief Whip,
The
your
ANC
time has
rejects
expired.
this motion with the contempt it deserves. I thank you.
Honorable Malema.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. I want to take this opportunity to thank the incoming acting president, Baleka Mbete, for having been courageous enough to take a decision allowing the secret ballot to take place in this place today. Many in the ANC, including the officials of the ANC, have told her not to engage on issues of secret ballot, but to offer an open ballot. She went against the wishes of the officials of the ANC. We salute her for that. We are not here today to remove a democratically elected government of the ANC, which was voted for by our people in 2014. Whether we like it or not, we must at all times respect the wish of the people. And that's why we are here to make it very clear that ours today is not against the ANC, but against the father of Duduzane. We are here to remove Duduzane's father because Duduzane's father is the most corrupt individual in this country. I want to say to the comrades in the ANC, we warned you about Nkandla, and you did not listen to us when we spoke about Nkandla. In 2016, you lost some of the metros, and your response was, you should have acted better on Nkandla. Your response was, you could have handled this matter differently, and you committed that you are going to improve after those outcomes. From August 2016 till to date, there is no single improvement. You have degenerated further. You have become worse than before the 3rd of August 2016. And now, can you imagine what is going to happen in 2019 if you are continuing the way you are going to continue here today? We want to say to you, we're not questioning whether the president has got powers to appoint a cabinet or reshuffle it. But we have a problem with a cabinet that gets reshuffled by people who are not elected, Because if a cabinet is reshuffled by the Guptas, then we know that the president is no longer executing his responsibility. We are rising against the Guptas who are reshuffling cabinet. We are rising against the Guptas who are appointing the boards in ESCOM, in PRASA, in Transnet, in SABC, in SAA. We are rising against the Guptas who have ensured that our economy is downgrading, that our economy is in recession. We are rising against those who have surrendered the people's power into a family of foreigners. That's what brings us here today. If the president had executed his responsibilities and respected his oath of office, we will not be here today. We will never call for removal of an elected president who respects his oath of office. So stop misleading yourself. Stop telling yourself a lie. The vote is secret. Your conscience will remain with you. You know we are telling the truth. We want to say to Honorable Kensani, you are doing very well in the energy department. We are unable to say so because of the things you said during Nkandla. You are writing your own history as you sit here. Even when you are going to perform better in future, we will have a difficulty because of the wrong history you have written. All of you sitting here individual, Honorable Deputy President, you are writing your own history. You will be judged according to the history you have written for yourself. I'm saying to Stella Ndabeni, all of you, these people will not be here when you are this side. Protect your future, Stella, by voting Babao to Dizani out of power. ANC, vote Zuma.
Honorable member, your time has expired. I have warned you that your time has expired. Honorable Malema, your time has expired. Honorable Malema, what's wrong with you? Honorable Buthelezi.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, Your Excellency, our Deputy President, Honorable Ministers, Honorable Deputy Ministers, Honorable Members of this House. I would like, first of all, to thank the Speaker for having used her discretion to allow this debate. I know most of the time she gets brickbats, but I think on this occasion, she deserves a bouquet. The poisonous seed of corruption was sown long before democracy, but its roots silently crept over the threshold along with a liberated nation. The axe of our highest ideals failed to destroy this strangling vine. Instead, it was nourished with every secret deal, irregular tender, and dishonored word until we reached the point that the unthinkable became possible when a sitting president lied to Parliament, lied to the people, trampled the Constitution, and sold the country to the highest bidder. Today, we as the custodians of our nation's well-being must act to save South Africa. This motion of no confidence is not against the ANC. We're not here to say ANC must fall. It is against corruption, it is against state capture, it is against one man. The president knows that I'm deeply uncomfortable speaking against my head of state. There are more people who are younger than myself are more comfortable saying "Pantsing with Zuma," which I cannot say to an incumbent, head of state. I'm a patriot and a servant of this country. I believe in respecting the office of the president, and I've never attacked the office either publicly or privately. I believe in protecting the dignity of this highest office in our land, which is why 10 years ago, I proposed separating the position of head of state from the head of government. That wasn't done, and now we've reached an impasse. To protect the dignity of the office of the president, I am forced to speak against the man who has brought that office into disrepute. Now, today, we must vote with our conscience, or we must face the righteous anger of millions of South Africans. They won't keep silent. They will express themselves not only through marches and protests, but through the ballot box. Colleagues, I've heard you saying we can't have our leader recalled by the DA. But this is not a DA initiative. Look outside. Look at the people lining the streets of Cape Town and Pretoria and marching in the cities across our nation. These are ordinary South Africans from all political persuasion, including the ANC. Their message is clear.
Honorable Shenge, I'm afraid your time is expired, sir. Honorable Kubisa.
Deputy Speaker, honorable members of this House, the NFP wants to convey its condolences to the families of the bereaved honorable members of this House, and also wishes those that are still in hospital a speedy recovery. Having said that, Speaker, today's debate is historic. Today's vote is crucial and critical. Never has South African society been so mobilized. No matter how the vote goes, for South Africans from all walks of life, they want change, they want action. South Africans of all persuasions feel betrayed, rejected, and made mockery in the eyes of their counterparts across the continent and other nations. Day by day, they see their hopes of a productive, thriving, rich, caring, and prosperous South Africa dashed. These masses of our people feel the pinch. That tells how important decisions taken in this House are. The National Freedom Party notes that various sectors and organs of our society have combined their efforts and have repeatedly spoken with one voice against maladministration, lack of service delivery, and graft that continues to define this administration. Perennial challenges seem to engulf the government of the day and show themselves in service delivery protest. Many South Africans are languishing in abject poverty and hunger, unemployment, lack of better resources like water and sanitation, electricity, water, roads, and that all defines their being. Economic resources keep shrinking and our economy is not growing, thus resulting in huge job losses and relegating the majority of our South Africans to utter despair. Most South Africans go to bed with empty stomachs, yet corruption from top to bottom is so rife and heavily embedded in government. We, however, cannot sit back and think that Mother Nature will bring a prosperous South Africa on a silver platter. We must do something, and every opportunity that avails itself must be used responsibly. Our society is the one whose foundations have been shaken. South Africa becomes a polarized nation on a daily basis. The rich becomes richer and the poor becomes poorer. The National Freedom Party believes that we have to work together as South Africans. Unity is not an option, it is a socio-political imperative. We need to inculcate a new spirit of patriotism in our people, that they come together, air their views, air their dissent and dissent, march, picket, but protect the physical structures and resources in our community. The National Freedom Party believes that we must mobilize and galvanize all sectors of society, all patriots who must stand together and speak with one voice and creatively come with new strategies and techniques to help constructively build, change our society for the better. This is our country. This is our children's country. We must protect this country for generations to come. We cannot behave like we do not care. For some time, opposition parties have spoken, some ANC members have been speaking, the civil society has been speaking, and everyone has been speaking about graft and abhorrent state capture in this country. It seems it fell on deaf ears. We want to say we must heed the words of Nelson Mandela, who said, "Let us never be unmindful of the terrible past from which we come, using that memory not as a means to keep us shackled to the past in a negative manner, but rather as just remember how far we've come." Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you.
This is a bad habit you are following. Honorable Holomisa.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Deputy President, honorable members, fellow South Africans. Following the success of the UDM by creating a safety net for all members of parliament through voting by secret ballot, we have to seize the opportunity to put the people and the country first. In this regard, let us vote against the abuse of power, the infamous bogus intelligence report, and the abuse of the resources of our people. Let us vote against the threats to our sovereignty and the constitutional order. Let us vote against Mr. Zuma, the chief architect of the state capture. As if that is not enough, Mr. Zuma had a courage to mislead this House about a bond to his private house. Later on, he went to the National Council of Provinces to mislead that House too. He said the public protector never gave him a fair chance to respond to allegations against him, yet he was given no less than 4 hours. In years to come, the history we are writing today shall not only be read and taught, but it will also determine the socio-economic and political future of our country. Whatever we do this afternoon, it must be for and about South Africa. The electorate has bestowed upon us a responsibility to collectively stay true to the vision, the mission, and goals of our country as espoused in our Constitution. We are also called upon to live up to the values and ideals of those who came before us and founded the constitutional democracy. Accordingly, these challenges must propel us to do everything within the confines of the law and redirect the downward trajectory that has visited our country under the leadership of Mr. Zuma into an opportunity to recapture the historic mission of our nation and constitution. Okokugqibela, ndinondlulele ikhaphethi ndanirolela. Ndidlala unumber 6 apha kwipolitiki ndinifakela itroopers. Hambano ukora ke ngoku akusekho no goalkeeper phaya. Zimthi pali fakani ibhola. Inkosi.
Honorable Mabi.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, the Deputy President of the Republic, today we are going to give it to our modern-day fanatics of fame and fortune, the Democratic Alliance, who consistently want to appear as the authors of the moral script and custodians of good conduct in society. In the DA, the word revolution doesn't exist. Everything they do is guided by opportunism, lust, and desperation for fame. Our movement, the ANC, has led the charge in liberating the people of South Africa and leading the rest of society to a right path, one that has always been about reconstruction and development. We're entering this debate of yet another frivolous and fruitless motion of no confidence to primarily attend to the essence that this motion is grounded on. Any serious motion brought against a president duly elected by the National Assembly, specifically one that impinges on the character of the president, need to be well researched with necessary empirical data and backed by substantiated and verified reports, and not gossips and hearsays, doctored to appear as facts. The worst to happen is believing on your own propaganda, a path the DA seems to be following. And as Thomas Sankara has it, we in the ANC, the movement of the people, are not against progress, but we do not want progress that is anarchic and criminally neglects the rights of others. We in the ANC continue to draw strength from our forebears, and with one such being Tata Nelson Mandela, whose words of wisdom continue to resonate with our efforts to build a country for all. For the benefit of the proposers of this frivolous motion, who are clearly guided by the distraction and a greater will to try everything to try and undermine what has been done, including approaching the courts with the aim of liquidating the people's revolution, is talent where Tata Nelson Mandela warned. It is so easy to break down and destroy. The heroes are those who make peace and build. There is no right-thinking movement rooted amongst the people, driven by the greater love for humanity, which can vote in favor of entrenching minority interest and extracting a people-centered government from power. Today, we're taking full control of this debate, performing to the fullest and without a hint of doubt our leadership role, including dictating on what needs to happen. So what are we confronted with as the nation that requires ANC leadership? We have before Parliament the 2016 State of Capture report from the previous public protector, which this Parliament is beginning to apply its mind on, thanks to the ANC leadership in caucus. In applying our minds, we are well aware that the State of Capture report was concluded rapidly, containing very serious findings and recommending very specific remedial action. In this regard, our president, the president of the ANC and that of the Republic, President Jacob Zuma, is already leading the charge, undertaking the process to establish a judicial commission of inquiry with rigor and honor for its conclusions on the allegations made to have a measure of credibility. The outrage in public over the levels of perceived and real corruption must be urgently addressed by this Parliament. As public representatives, led by the ANC and with the support of other political parties, we have already initiated a process that will allow complete expression by all political parties as representatives of our people. This process allows for the necessary examination, scrutiny, and testing of the veracity of allegations contained in various reports currently before Parliament. It is the existence of these various multi-party instruments within Parliament, like ad hoc committees, that are necessary to assert accountability and a continued oversight role to regularly attend to instances of wrongdoing and consolidate good governance. And consistent with our resolve to represent all of our people fairly, where Parliament might not have necessary capacity, we regularly defer such to structures in our society that are set up to investigate, so that the public interest, our democracy, our constitution, the program of government informed by the governing party must succeed, since its design is to improve the lives of our people and give them a secure future. Already the portfolio committees of public enterprise, home affairs, and the standing committees of public accounts is leading the way, with transport and mineral resources set to follow. So while as the DA motion seeks to dislodge the state president and de facto his appointed cabinet, bring about a collapse in the executive, and serve their stated desire to force the country to go to early national and provincial elections, the ANC position to say the nation is speaking and has spoken, and having listened, we are responding. The public correctly hates corruption. The public correctly hates corruption, theft, and other forms of public and private sector perceived and real corruption. And as a public representative, we are duty-bound to investigate these allegations, both real and perceived. We must bring experts and analysts to test the veracity of allegations and to come to a determination on what must happen to those who are implicated, irrespective of who it is. As progressive Democrats, allow a fair, open, and due process to take place. While as public opinion is critical, which public representatives must appreciate and respect, the court of public opinion must not be allowed to become the benchmark of decision-making, as this will collapse the structures that the state, the constitution, and the law has put in place to test the veracity of allegations, claims, and counterclaims. This is even more important today, where social media seeks to influence the outcomes even without subjecting itself to the test of veracity. The ANC will not lean to opposition parties, especially yourselves, and remove its president, as we know that these opposition parties are working overnight to dislodge the ANC and extract it from power without following due processes. This is another special coup d'etat. This motion is nothing else but a test of character. We refuse to be directed by the DA and the rest of the opposition. Parliament must act on the balance of evidence, not on the allegations of the DA motion. Establish wrongdoing and then act, not the other way around. Otherwise, everyone can see that this is merely opportunistic. The Constitution requires that we as parliamentarians apply our minds. The antithesis of this is to speculate and indulge in generalities. The fact that we are being asked to commit ourselves to something which opposition parties don't apply themselves to in their own leadership is common cause, and will not say to those parties, which include the mover of today's motion of no confidence, you will never convince any conscious MP by being yourself inconsistent. Courts of law apply this principle, and today you want to lower the standards we have set to govern the country in order that you benefit as a party. Let me come to the other part of the DA motion, which speaks to the matters of economic concern, which are directly attributed to the president. It's important you listen, because you are going to learn a few things. the classic and dishonest way.
Honorable Mabi, I'm afraid your time has expired, sir.
We will never vote to remove the ANC from power. We're going to consistently educate you on what the ANC has done.
Honorable Mabi? No. Honorable Groenewald?
Agbare adjunct speaker, die vraag wat ons vir onsself moet vra is, wanneer kan die mense van Suid-Afrika vertroue hê in 'n president? Die mense kan vertroue hê in 'n president wanneer daardie president sê hy tree in belang van die mense op. Wanneer 'n president bereid is om verantwoordelikheid en aanspreeklikheid te aanvaar vir die dade van die regering of dade wat hy toelaat, dan kan ons sê dit is 'n verantwoordelike president waarin ons vertroue kan uitspreek. But Honorable Deputy Speaker, what we have in South Africa is a president who is constantly doing blame shifting. It's never the fault for or of the president. It's always someone else's fault. It's always shifting the blame. If the economy doesn't grow, it is because of white monopoly capital. It's shifting the blame. That is what you are doing. And I want to say to the honorable members of the ANC today, if you do not, and listen carefully, if you do not give the support to this motion and remove the president who's a blame shifter, then you say to the people of South Africa, the problem is not the president, the real problem is the ANC government. That is what you say. And then the ANC government must be replaced. And that is going to happen. But I also want to say to the honorable members of the ANC, you must listen very carefully. I am a realist when it comes to politics. I want to say to the honorable members of the ANC specifically, the choice today is not only a choice for or against the motion. There is an alternative of abstain. And if you, I understand, you must protect your party. But if you want to prove to the people of South Africa that you do listen to their needs, then I'm asking you, abstain from this vote and give a message to your president to say that we don't have confidence in you. You have the choice. The Freedom Front Plus will support this motion of no confidence because we don't have any confidence in a blame shifter for president. I thank you.
Honorable Lekota.
Within the confines of Robben Island.
Order, honorable members.
Within the confines of Robben Island, the leading lights of our movement, the African National Congress, taught us that the struggle we were waging was not a sectarian struggle. It was a struggle for the people of South Africa to enjoy democracy and a better life for all. Those stalwarts that taught that included the late Walter Sisulu, Nelson Mandela, Govan Mbeki. No, they taught me, not you. You were not there. You were not there. They also taught us that it was crucial always to be truthful and honest. A consequence of which one of them said, I have nothing, I'm here on Robben Island, I have nothing, only prison clothes. But a critical thing I have is the integrity, the truthfulness to my people. I told them I would never betray my commitment to them that I'll fight for justice. And although I have nothing, I am remembered because I have not lied to them. Here we have a situation of an individual, a leader, who promised our people to uphold the Constitution, but has been found by the highest court of our country to have lied to the people because he did not uphold it. If I was asked to vote for such a man, I would refuse. And I invite you, the whole House, don't vote for anybody who lied for our people. Secondly, here we have to decide. An individual entrusted with the budget of our nation then took that and stole for himself and stole with his friends, the Guptas, and so on. Such an individual has lied to our people. Please don't vote for someone, all of us, don't vote for someone who lied to our people and stole their money. Thirdly, here we have to vote around the issue of an individual who entrusted with the responsibility to govern our country before our nation, and the nation promised that he was going to do so. And then gave that responsibility to some foreigners to compose our cabinet, to manipulate it, to give it instructions day and night. And we've only discovered in the recent weeks that don't vote for such an individual.
Honorable Kota,
vote for someone who will be trustworthy for the people of our country.
Honorable Kota, your time has expired.
I appeal to all of you, my comrades, this side and this side.
Honorable Kota,
vote for someone we can trust.
Please,
Deputy Speaker, honourable members, the ACDP welcomes the Speaker's decision yesterday to allow for today's motion of no confidence in President Zuma to be voted on by secret ballot so that members of this House be able to vote according to their conscience. If we thought that Nkandla debacle was scandalous, the extent of revelations of state capture borders on being treasonous. Former Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan has estimated that state capture has cost the country in excess of 100 billion rands. In attempting to persuade ANC members from supporting this motion, Honorable Mthembu stated, and I quote, President Zuma's removal from office would have the impact of a nuclear bomb and would be disastrous if it happens. But we are saying today, we do not agree with Honorable Mthembu. We believe the opposite to be the truth. What could be worse, Deputy Speaker, than President Zuma enabling large-scale state capture and recklessly reshuffling his cabinet to benefit the Guptas? In an open letter to ANC MPs, Reverend Mos Nkla said, and I quote, "You stand at a crossroads where you can either choose to continue to put the country through its current trauma, or you can choose to focus on the common good by ensuring that this president is impeached as soon as possible," close quote. On behalf of the ACDP, I want to take this opportunity to commend those courageous ANC MPs who have, despite personal threats to their safety, stood their ground and spoke out against state capture and corruption. It is those courageous MPs who know that this motion is not only about opposition politics, but rather it is about the very soul and survival of our country. That's why we expect all members of this House who love this country to support this motion. Deputy Speaker, change, we believe, must start from the head, or all other efforts to restore order will be in vain. We agree with the Honorable Makosi Khosa, who is on record as saying that this motion today, and I quote, "It is a critical step in taking back our democracy.
which has been usurped by a suffocating web of greed, corruption, and patronage, and which she believes has become the hallmark of the current ANC leadership. It is disgraceful, Deputy Speaker, that some in the ANC are rushing to censure Honorable Khoza while President Zuma is not being held to account. He has avoided accountability for too long and is no longer fit to hold office. We have said it in the past in this House, and we repeat it again, that the writing is on the wall. The President has been weighed in the scales and found wanting. Today, the President must be discharged. All members of this House must vote the President out. Thank you.